Today, we're going to pull back the curtain on the incredible, complex machine that powers our global economy. We're talking about international business and trade.
So let's start with this simple scenario. Picture this. You've made something great. Someone, somewhere, 5,000 miles away, wants to buy it. They've got the cash. But how do you, the seller, ship your product knowing for sure that you're going to get paid? This is the fundamental question.
And this isn't just some small hurdle. It's the first and biggest wall you have to climb in global trade. Before a single item gets packed in a box, you have to solve this core problem of trust between two parties who may never meet, separated by oceans, cultures, and legal systems.
You know, personal trust is one thing, but it doesn't really scale across the entire planet. What the world of commerce really needed was something solid, something concrete. Not just a hope, but a rock-solid institutional guarantee.
And that guarantee has a name: the letter of credit. Now, this isn't just another document in a stack of paperwork. It's an incredibly powerful financial tool. Think of it as a promise, written in stone by a bank, that is designed to completely bridge that trust gap.
So what is it really? Well, a letter of credit, or an LC, is basically a deal where the buyer's bank steps into the middle of the transaction. The bank tells the seller, look, don't worry about the buyer. You just prove to us that you've shipped the goods according to the agreement, and we will pay you directly. The bank's good credit literally replaces the buyer.
Okay, so there are a few key players in this financial dance. First, you've got the applicant, that's the buyer, the one asking for the letter of credit. They go to their bank, which we call the issuing bank. The seller, who's going to get paid, is the beneficiary. And on their side, there's usually an advising bank, which is their local bank that just confirms the whole thing is legitimate.
And the flow is actually pretty logical. It starts with the buyer and seller agreeing to use an LC. Then the buyer's bank issues it. As soon as the seller gets that LC, they have the confidence to go ahead and ship the goods. After shipping, they gather up all the required documents, give them to their bank, and if every single detail is perfect, boom, they get paid.
Now, this next point is absolutely critical to understand. The bank doesn't know, and frankly doesn't care, what's actually in the shipping container. They don't inspect the goods. Their entire job, their entire legal obligation, is to inspect the documents. If the paperwork is perfect, the bank must pay. If there's even one tiny error, they must not. It's a system built entirely on paper.
So with that in mind, here's a stat that might shock you. You'd think getting paperwork right would be the easy part, but roughly half, that's right, 50% of all initial document submissions for a letter of credit are rejected because something's wrong.
And we're not talking about complicated, esoteric mistakes here. It's often simple stuff. The letter of credit has expired. There's a typo describing the goods. A document is missing. The wrong port is listed. Tiny details that seem minor can bring the whole process to a screeching halt and cause massive payment delays.
Okay, so let's say we've done it. We've navigated the financial side. The payment is secure. But that's only one piece of the puzzle, isn't it? We've solved the money problem, but now we have to deal with a whole new set of challenges: the physical reality of actually moving stuff across the planet.
And this brings us right into the world of global operations. This is where companies have to make huge decisions about how they produce things, who they partner with, and how they manage the incredible complexity of a global supply chain. And it really boils down to two main strategies. You've got logistics, which is all about the science of movement, the planning and execution of getting goods from point A to point B efficiently. And then there's outsourcing, which is about deciding who does the work, partnering with other companies to handle parts of your business. Let's zoom in on outsourcing for a minute. Because getting this right, well, it's so much more than just finding the cheapest provider online. Doing it successfully requires a really smart, strategic approach.
Here's probably the single most important rule of the game. Don't just chase the lowest price. The cheapest bid is almost never the best one. In fact, a lot of experienced managers will tell you they automatically throw out the highest and the lowest bids. The real magic happens in the middle, where you find that perfect balance of good value and high-quality work.
And you never ever go all in with a new partner right away. The smart play is to start small. Give them a simple, low-risk project first. It's like a test drive. You get to see how they work, how they communicate, and if they're reliable before you hand them the keys to a mission-critical part of your business.
And to make sure everyone stays accountable, you build a payment schedule around clear, defined milestones. You don't pay for everything up front. You pay for progress. When they hit a target, they get paid for that stage. It keeps the project on track and ensures you get what you're paying for.
All right, so the money's secure, the product is made and shipped, it has arrived. We're in the home stretch. But now we face the final and maybe the trickiest hurdle of all. How do you actually sell your product to customers in a completely foreign market?
See, marketing in your own backyard is one thing. You get the culture, you speak the language, you know the inside jokes, but marketing internationally, it's a whole new ballgame. You're juggling different laws, different languages, completely different cultural tastes and values. The potential market is huge, but it's also deeply uncertain.
And this brings us to the masterclass taught by one of the biggest brands on earth. Coca-Cola figured out a long time ago that you can't just have one global ad campaign. Their strategy is famously think local, act local. They keep that core global brand, but they tailor everything, the ads, the messaging, even the taste sometimes, to fit the local culture.
And all of this, from the complexity of a letter of credit to the global dance of logistics to marketing that respects local culture, it all points to one thing. Our world is more interconnected now than at any point in human history. Which leaves us with one final thought to ponder. In a world disconnected, can any business truly call itself local anymore?